Sounds good.
Okay. Let me share my screen. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah.
Hi all, this is Naga. So let me demonstrate the preference module which I have worked on. So this is the customer widget. Once I click on the customer, it will take me to the read-only mode. Here, if I click on the subtask, I'll click on preferences. This will open the preferences window and load all the preferences which has been created for that specific customer. So here we have preferred, which is given in green color, and forbidden will be given in red color. If I expand, I can view the details like services, countries, airports, flight categories, purposes, equipments, preferred, and forbidden. So let me create one preference. So here the mandatory fields are priority, request form, reference code, and services. So I'll select the priority.
For the request form, in the preferences, it's not needed.
So request.
So the request form, yeah,
uh,
in preferences.
okay, so shall I remove this field in this create form?
Please do.
Okay, so I'll remove here as well as in the list view. Here also I'll remove it. Here also I'll remove the request form. So let me create one record. So I'll select the services. I'll select the countries. I'll select the flight category. I'll select equipments. So I'll select the preferred vendor, sorry. So if the preferred vendor is already selected, in the forbidden they will be disabled. So we cannot select those vendors again.
Sounds good.
So let me save this record. So customer record is saved. So this is the record I created.
Why is loading taking so much?
No, we have two loading here, Miai. One is when the window refreshes, the loading is given, and once the edge grid is also loading, data is loading, we'll provide the loading icon for that.
Yeah, but why does it take so much? I mean, it's not much data.
We'll check on the performance. If there is any performance related tuning up is required, we'll check on that.
Okay, please do.
Sure. So let me go and edit the record. So whatever I created, it's loaded here, and I can go and modify whatever field I wish to do. So I'll save this. So I can see the updated record. Here we are not showing the reference code in the grid. So whatever details we created or edited, is it better to show it, right? So what's your suggestion on this?
No, to be honest, reference code, again, It's not needed because reference code again only refers to the vendor.
Okay, so in create, in this form, we'll remove request form and reference code.
Yeah, yeah. Reference code is just a way for us to show if a vendor can service a particular aircraft. When we're in the client side, client preferences, it's that particular piece of information is not even applicable.
Okay, so in that case, we'll remove these two fields.
Yeah, please remove it.
Okay, any other things that has to be added or removed in this form?
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
So there is one thing, while you are adding airports and countries, can you add a country without an airport?
No, if I select the country, all the airports related to that will also be added.
So by default, I mean, if we are saying, okay, for example, there is some services that are overfly services. So in this case, we are considering that this is only for a country, right? I mean, the service is a country service. It's not a particular airport service.
No, but
I mean, because there are two types of services. One, I mean, a lot of them are on ground, and there are some overflight services.
okay, actually, in the capabilities we had initially when mockup was done, the country and airports were two different sections. But after the mockup was reviewed and revisited, it was suggested like we'll club both countries and airports together and show it as an hierarchical data. So once we select,
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's not that. Basically, all we're saying is you should be able to insert a country name and not have to select specifically an airport under that country. And that matches what we've been saying all along, is that if you don't select an airport under a country, then that capability applies to all airports in that country.
correct.
Yeah, it goes on the same function, on the same wavelength. So you can select a country name and populate a country under the country/airport grid, and have that capability applicable for whatever services you selected only for that specific country,
Yeah,
without necessarily ticking an airport, basically.
yeah. If I select country, along with country, all the airports is also selected. So you mean to say, in that case, we don't have to map it to the airports. By default, it's like only to the country.
Okay, so you've selected a country and it's inserted all the airports associated with that country.
Yes.
In a way, it's technically correct. If I select a country, then effectively what we're saying is apply that capability to the entire countries and all the airports in that country.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I think the question here is that do we need to actually display it? If all the airports are selected, do we physically need to display all the airports in that fashion?
It's only, there is one thing here, Jimmy, maybe we need to differentiate. If it's an overfly service, so it makes sense to separate countries from airports. But when it comes to a ground service, I mean a landing service, then both of them make sense. Like, for example, I can select all airports in that country.
I don't think even in the way it is now, I don't think it actually makes that much difference. Safwan. So the country is inserted in its entirety, and all they're saying here is that every airport in that country, that capability is available. It's just how the data is displayed. That's all. You would physically have to scroll all the way down to see any other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So so say for example I had like 50 airports in Afghanistan, for example, then all the airports would be listed in this fashion.
Correct.
And I'd be scrolling forever. If I say I've selected multiple countries, then I would be scrolling forever. So this is in edit mode, okay, and I'd be, yeah, not really ideal, to be honest. Could you provide us a collapse view mode, so that it collapses, that whilst you're in view mode, all the airports collapse and you just see it in that fashion, but as a view mode?
Similar to
Yeah.
similar to this view, you mean to say give a tree structure here also, so that
Yeah.
you can collapse and expand one specific to a country?
Yeah, I think so. Safwan, what do you think?
It's not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem. The thing is that, like what I'm saying, maybe because it's confusing, because some, I mean, when it comes to overfly, I just want to make sure that, I mean, the differentiation here is clear between overflight.
Yeah, I mean,
services and
it would still be for the country. It would still be the country. And it's not just overfly. It could be other services that, you know, like APIS, for
So
example.
how often would that, Jimmy, how often would that come into play?
I don't think it's really that. It's more of a display, how the data is displayed. I don't see a big issue having it like that, to be honest.
Oh, Jimmy, I think it's better just to take notice of this, and we'll have it in the, as how to say, a task that needs to be done. But I think we should focus the things that should be there instead of the things that can be displayed differently. Let's not waste time on the things that are there but are not exactly displayed like we want.
But it's like I'm saying,
we make no
I don't have an issue the way it's programmed. Just amend the display so that just it collapses and expands. That's it. That's my point of view.
Okay, I think the guys from MicroExcel understood, right?
Yes, I have understood. We'll also discuss with Manju and see how the UX part will have the impact, and we'll get back to you on this request.
I mean, the thing is, we don't want to delay important things by focusing on minor things like this.
Yeah, sure, Mihai.
this is important. This is important.
The way they are displayed.
No, not the way they are displayed. See, this will cause performance issues later, because every time we are adding overflight service, then adding a country, it will force the system to get all airports associated with that country, which could make a performance issue for each and every preference record. This is why what I'm thinking is, if we separate countries from airports, like we have two boxes, one for country and one for airports, then after selecting a country, it will auto-fetch maybe the airports, then you can add as you want for particular airports, then it's fine. Then we can say that, okay, if there is an overfly that we have to select, then we can just select country. That's it. I mean, I'm just thinking of it from performance background.
Okay, we'll take this in the background and discuss it, and we'll come back to you after we agree over how it should be.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay, move forward.
Yeah, because Mihai, like, initially it was country and airports were separate only. And I think after the feedback only, we made a club together. So we have to check with the team, like, how much time it will requires to make it again, the separate tables. So we will maybe we can have a separate discussion on that, and if it is really required, we can take up. But yeah, definitely not with sprint deliverables, because we have a very short timeline to deliver a lot of things. Next sprint we are targeting vendors. So maybe once we finish everything, then we will take up the this kind of changes. So what do you say, Mihai and Jimmy, Safan?
Okay, let us discuss internally this, and we'll see
Okay.
also
We'll,
what we decide, and
we'll
after that we'll.
yeah, we'll take it offline.
Okay, for me, the action point here is to remove two fields, request form and reference code, and look into the loading issue.
Yes.
Sure. As
From my
usual,
side.
the delete works like how it is implemented in other modules. So if I click, it will ask for the confirmation message, and the records are deleted successfully. And here I have one question, Mihai. So if I close this preferences, I'll go to customer. Here we are showing don't cross sell. For a customer, we can have multiple preferences. So how will this be linked to this customer? Because here we'll be showing like specific customer records, and that is a one-to-many relationship with respect to preferences. So say if I create three preferences for a customer, first preference I'll give don't cross sell as yes, and for other two I'll give as no. So here representation is one thing which is not clear for me. So is this field is required, or how do we have to show this? So what's your thought process on this?
It depends, Jimmy. You need this to be visible or here, or you can see directly in the item.
This is a customer in a specific customer profile. Yeah, it'd be good to have it in the columns as whether or not to do not cross sell or do cross sell. We may have actually a whole bunch of services listed that the client that we would just offer automatically, or we don't, or when a client says, hey, don't cross sell. So no, we do need to keep it, and we do need to keep it visible on the preference list.
Yeah, but if it's multi options.
Multi options on the services, yeah, that's fine. We can keep, we can indeed profile. Sorry, say again the question now. It was a Pramod, I believe.
No, it's Naga.
Naga, sorry, Naga. Say the question again, please.
Yeah, the question is, I can go to preferences. Here, for this particular customer, say Mandolin Bay, I can create multiple preferences. So in the create preferences, we have this don't cross sell. So I can say for multiple preferences, I can give say like yes or no, whichever options I want. But
yes, because there could be individual services. I could actually create one service at a time. So say for the first one, ground handling, do not cross sell.
Yes.
Flight planning, do not cross sell. So yes, indeed, I can create multiples.
So here in the customer grid view, the representation is confusing for the user because we have only single.
In what way?
Don't cross sell is like it will show only the single value. So for different preferences, I can select different options, right? So here we need to show it in a represent it in a different way actually. Because this don't cross sell is related to the preferences of a customer. Here we are showing only the customer details.
Okay. This is on the customer preferences table, or is this accessible from the client profile? Where am I right now?
We are now looking at the customer tables.
You're inside the customer. Okay, so you're inside. Okay, this is the customer list.
Yeah, this is the customer list.
Okay.
In the customer
I don't think you
list,
need it.
Right.
In the customer
So I thought you were in the customer preferences tab. The customer list, no, then you don't need it.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought you were in the customer preferences list. So in the customer preferences list.
In the preferences list, we are anyway showing this. Don't cross sell. For each preferences, whatever the value has been set, that has been shown in the preferences list. Okay, so we'll remove this in the customer list.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
correct. We do not need to present that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I'll hand over to Nitish. He'll be explaining the customer module.
Hi all, Nitesh here. Let me explain customer module. Here it will show the
Guys, we're still naming it as customer module. When are we incorporating the new labels and new grouping for the side menu?
Yeah, that is Manju is working on that. May I will check with him. When we will be able to update it. I'll check with him and I will update you.
Okay. Okay. Customers, operators, huh? It's not just customers.
okay. In here,
Sorry, I didn't get you the last one.
This database item refers to customers and operators,
Okay.
not just customers.
Okay.
Because you can have a list of both, right? Customers and operators.
Okay.
here list of fields will be displayed for customer module. So as discussed previously, we will remove dot cross cell, and when you click on create new, here you can create. You can select account status. You can select status. This will be single drop down. You can select BDM. This will be multi-select. You can select office, and type will be multi-select. Based on country, the state will be appear, and based on country, the city also will be appear. Yes. When you click on yes, the customer details will be saved here. When you click on particular customer, it will redirect to read only mode. Here you can see the all fields that we have filled, and you can edit from here also. And choose format over to C node. If I choose C node, then the node will be appear. When you click on the edit button, then the data will be edited. Here C nodes is also appear, and you can delete the customer. This is the one flow for customer, and you can create customer using the link button. Here you can link any customers, any organization. The data will be saved here also. And Safan, I have one question here.
Okay.
When you click, when we are going to the organization linking part, the values will be appeared for the customer organizations, or the organization which is not linked to customer.
No, it will appear for organizations that are not linked to customer. This is where a customer could be a vendor at the same time. So we have to link customer profile to a vendor profile.
Means the customer profiles won't be appeared in dropdown, right?
Yeah, no. So it will only it will show the profiles that are not customers.
Means the profiles which are and vendor.
Yeah.
Hi, Safan, Kushal here.
Mhm.
I have a question. In the organization, I'll be creating a company which is mapped to only vendor.
No, an organization.
Yeah.
When you are creating an organization, it's not linked to a vendor or to a customer. After that, you can, like based on the requirement, you can either create a vendor link or a customer link, or you can create both.
Okay, here the list of values which are displayed, which is only related to vendors.
Vendors and
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Here in the customer module under company name, here we have a list of values, right? Those are the values which are
Yes.
linked to only for vendors, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Either linked to a vendor or they are not linked to anything.
Okay. There is an idea, okay. Then I think.
But you don't need see go again, please. You don't need here when you click on the organization link. Yeah, click. You don't need here to show vendor, select vendor. Just select organization. I mean, in the label, after you click on the drop down.
Okay.
No, click on drop down. It was showing select vendor. No, on the placeholder of the drop down. Yeah, this one. It shouldn't be select vendor. You can just show it as select organization.
Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Okay. We will change the name.
Okay.
Okay. If you have any feedbacks for this customer credit operations.
Not from my side.
So if any fields to be added or to be removed from the list, apart from don't cross sell.
Nothing from me at this stage.
No, I sent. There is one thing I sent a reply to Kushal related to Office. So Office has to be multi-select here. This team, while we are creating a customer.
Thanks, Safan.
Just
I got
have it as multi-select. Yeah.
Thanks, Safan. I got a mail, but we'll internally discuss with the development team. I'll let you know on this.
Okay. Sure.
So the next is aircrafts. So Bharat has developed that. So he's going to explain us.
Hi, I'm Bharat here. I'm going through this aircraft, customer aircraft. For creating the customer aircraft, I'm displaying this widget in the outside different widget. And user can create the it will update into this main widget. Then user can edit this read only mode also displaying in the other widget, and user can edit this one. After editing or the inserting, I am closing.
As you're saving, as you're saving, you had customer and operator inserted, but customer still not displaying on the left. Does that need to refresh, or does that refresh automatically?
No.
Edit grab one of those aircraft and edit?
Hello.
Yes, hi. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mihai, we can hear you.
Jimmy, Shinmei.
Yeah, yeah, Jimmy. What was the feedback? Sorry, I was not able to follow you.
Okay, sure. Just grab one of those aircrafts. And you got 3 aircrafts listed in front of you. Okay, and just edit one of them. Edit.
Edit. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you have one customer name selected inside, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the customer for this aircraft? Right. Okay.
The customer.
All right. Yeah. So okay. Why isn't the customer name displayed on the aircraft list on the left?
No, on the left. On the left. Yeah.
On the aircraft list window to your left.
In this window.
Okay.
Yeah, some change. Yeah, we need some change in API. It's in working. So.
Okay. All right, that answers my question.
Hi, Jimmy. This scenario is already identified by QA, and this has been reported to the development team. They are working on it.
Okay, understood. I just wanted to make sure that we're bypassing something.
I have here 2 more remarks. The top of the title on the top of the widget. Aircraft and aircraft. It should not be. It should be aircraft list and aircraft type or something like that.
Okay.
No, one is okay. First, remove the S. There is no aircrafts in the English language. Aircraft is both a singular and a plural. Okay. Secondly, the one on the left is effectively a list of all aircraft registrations we have in the system. Right. So what we're seeing here, yeah, what we have is on the left should be aircraft list, and on the right it should say aircraft and then dash, and then the registration for that aircraft, because that would be a singular record for a particular registration, reg number.
Yes.
Yeah, and I showed this throughout the application. The titles are not very relevant.
Titles. Yeah, we spoke about this before.
Somebody should correct them.
So this one on the left, it's a tab inside the customer module. So it should show the customer name, like it shows customer and the customer name, and then it should show on the right maybe the aircraft list.
Now, currently we're looking at we went via aircraft CMS here, Safwan. We didn't go via customer. But yeah, indeed, if aircraft was accessed via customer, it should actually say, initially, customer, aircrafts, or customer name, then aircrafts, or aircraft dash customer name. So then
I think we will have. I think we will have to make a live discussion with the developers to correct this, because I think it's a small thing and easy to correct. No?
It is, yeah, and we spoke about this a few sprints back. The labeling across all the windows, especially when you have multiple windows open, and when you're even accessing the windows from the bottom bar. So you can hover your cursor over the icons down the bottom to see what windows are open. It needs to be labeled correctly, otherwise it's not meaningful enough.
Yeah, and also when you're opening the link, when you're editing, for example, an aircraft, you should get focused on the thing that you opened.
Yeah, we spoke about that as well.
Okay, Chinmay, are you taking notes of this?
Yes. Like what we can do is on the labeling part, maybe like with the Jimmy and Safwan, we can have a separate call because we have to follow, the uniformity across the all the modules. So we can, come to a conclusion. Okay, what has to be followed? Then we will incorporate it, Mihai. I'll make a
Okay, we can create this as an issue and discuss it
yeah.
on the on Jira.
Yeah, I have
Okay,
made
we
a
can
note
go
of it.
forward.
Yeah.
Here also user.
Okay, continue, guys. Continue.
Hello.
Just log. Make sure it's logged in Jira, and so then we can follow it up. That's all. Continue.
In this list, aircraft list, user can delete the particular aircraft.
So this is for the aircraft. So this naming convention, do we need to, incorporate for this, or can we have a separate discussion, and we can, come to a conclusion that okay, if it is if you are, launching a, some sub task in the module, what has to come, and that can we have that discussion, or for this, as you told, customer and aircraft, and here aircraft list. So what do you suggest, Jimmy and Safan and me?
Let's have a separate discussion on this.
Yeah, because like if we
I agree.
incorporate the one convention here, then we may have a confusion in other the modules. So as of now, I will create a the Jira task for it, and we will have a separate discussion. Then one in all we will incorporate for all the modules, rather than taking a single the feature and the module.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go window by window and see what the labeling will be.
Yes, because for the time,
Shouldn't take too long.
yeah, let it be like this. We'll have a the discussion, and we will see for all the modules what can be a general naming convention to be followed, like maybe some hierarchy. So we will the make a note of it, then we'll incorporate it. And for the crew, we have already made a progress. So the Adarsh is going to show us on the progress made on the crew in his system. So let me make him as a presenter. Join again, yeah.
Hi everyone. So first I will go, I think everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, first let me go to customer menu, where I can select a particular customer. Then I will go to cruise menu. Here we are going to implement a grid as shown in the mockup. It's in progress. And let me go to creative. So here you can see different sections like personal info, pilot credentials, customers, profile type, and passport and visa. In the first section, we need to fill the mandatory fields. Once you select the country, respective state and cities will be populated. And then you can add contact type where you can give multiple values. And on click of next, this particular data, whichever I have entered, will be automatically saved in the background. So I think that's how we discuss often, right?
Okay.
Here onwards, you no need to enter all the data. If you have, you can enter, or else you can go to next steps. If you enter any data, it will be saved automatically. Likewise, you can select.
Need a checkbox. Sorry, get back one screen.
Yeah.
Need a checkbox next expiry date, saying not applicable.
Sorry.
Need a checkbox next to expiration date.
Okay.
Not applicable. NA.
Okay. It's like UFN.
Some documents. Some documents don't necessarily expire. So.
Okay. You want just one more field which says NA, right?
Yeah, checkbox. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you want any? Is there any use case for that? Like if I click on that NA, anything needs to be disappeared or anything should be grayed out, like that? Any use
Yes,
cases?
it will disable the expiration date field. It will disable the expiration date field.
Okay.
So correct.
If that NA is checked, then expiration date should be disabled, right?
Yes,
correct.
Yeah.
And it disables the alert associated with the expiry of the said document or credential or whatever the case may be.
Okay, sure. Then comes the customers menu, where this particular customer will be auto-populated, and that's in progress. Then you can select other customers as well, and you can go to next step. In the profile tab, basically we have 5 tabs. You can choose, it's multi-select. You can choose all of them or any either of them. And the next step is passport and visa. Actually, this particular section is in progress. We are working on that as documents are there. We are finding a way to save the data. This particular form section is in progress. Here we have 2 types of documents, like one is passport and one is visa. This section is not implemented yet. And for passport, we have preference, whereas for visa, we don't have this particular field, it seems, right? So nationality is not there for visa.
Okay, guys, here you will have to work having in mind that later on we should be able to upload the document, which will automatically be recognized, and this field will be auto-completed.
Okay, so can you come back again, Jimmy? I didn't hear you.
So in the next phase of our development, here the passports and actually any document that any field from the an official document which we have to have in our database will have the option to be simply upload the passport, and automatically those fields should be filled.
Okay, so you want something like update?
No. Whenever you are working with a case like this, you have to have in mind that it must be easy to customize later for document upload.
I think it's something like, let me open the mockup. You want something like this, right? This is, suppose say this is the one which I have already uploaded, and you can add one more like this. Are you suggesting?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, like
exactly.
We are implementing in the same way.
Oh, okay, great.
Either you can.
It was just to make sure that you're working with this in mind.
Yeah, sure.
Mihai, is that really what you meant?
Yeah, I meant that
scanning and auto recognition, QCR recognition of documents, and auto population of fields, avoiding the manual input of the user. I think that's what we discussed.
Yes, but this will be in the phase 2. In phase 1, we should have this option to upload the document.
Yeah,
correct. I don't think the point was made across to these guys. I don't think they Marco Excel actually understood what was just said.
Whenever we have a case like this, we have to have in mind where we will be in the phase 2, what we want to achieve. So when you're developing something, don't don't hard code it or code it in a way that it requires a lot of work to modify it when we want to achieve the next step, which would be that text recognition and autocomplete.
Yeah, sure. So I think we don't have any changes if you see at the markup, right? Like whatever the instructions you are given.
No, the fields are correct. Just show me the differences in visa and passport as far as nationality versus country.
Yeah,
Just show me that again.
For
country.
visa, we don't have nationality, correct? Right? Yeah, we will change the label. It's actually it's already updated here.
Yeah. Okay. So passport is nationality. Yeah. And then visa is just country.
Yeah. For visa, we don't have this field, and I think we are going in the correct way. I think.
Just select visa for me for a second, sorry. Let me see. I haven't seen visa clearly.
No, actually,
okay.
Work is in
not yet developed.
Sorry. Okay.
If you look at the markup, it's just same as passport, whereas nationality will not be there.
Understood.
Now, the visa should be a subcategory or attached to a passport.
Sorry, dude.
That's fine, guys.
Okay. Maybe
It can be associated. It can be associated. I mean, the visa, because here I see that the visa section. I mean, we can associate a passport to a visa if you just have a field here where you can.
The association is going to be on the association is going to be on the JD when you submit and you say that following member is going to be traveling on that particular passport, right? And they hold a visa for that country. The association is going to be made directly by the individual traveling, and the passport they present. From a system perspective, you don't need to make that association.
Well, those visas are attached to a certain passport, so.
Yes, correct.
And travel on a visa in a different passport, and if they're separate, then that could accidentally be showing in error.
That's correct. That comes down to the individual traveling and the visa that they present to the immigration officer when they arrive. The passport they represent. Actually, for those with multiple passports, I can actually leave one country with one passport and enter a country with my second international passport with the visa in it, incidentally. It's been done many times as well. So not a problem, not an issue, guys. Just do it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you all. So I think we are in good page with respect to it. And let me share this screen which we have implemented for visa. So this is the section which we have implemented for visa. I think it's correct, it seems. These are the fields which we have, which are present in the visa section, and a placeholder to upload documents.
Okay, looks good.
Yeah, this is implemented, but one more developer is working on this one, so it's not in my system. So I shared a screenshot of the same.
Jimmy, what we can do is, since the crew is a very important part, so maybe tomorrow we are going to, release create a functionality. So once it is released, I will let you know, you and Safwan and Mihai. Maybe you can also do a one round of quick, the testing, and you can let us know if any major things are missing. I'll let you know once the crew feature is released to QA.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So I have made a note of all your feedback, and as Safwan told, from a last sprint onwards, I will document it in Jira as a task, or if it is a really long feedback which will take a more effort, I will make it as a user story. Or if it is already for some of your feedback, if defect is there, I will mention the defect. I will, while sending a MOM, I will update that, and I will share across to the stakeholders.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice evening. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you.